The days are longer, the calendar is filling up, and I want to feel as good as this beautiful summer weather. That's why I've been loving Groons. It's one daily pack of gummies that covers my greens, vitamins, and minerals, and even has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. So I don't need to juggle a complicated wellness routine on top of everything else. They taste amazing. They're easy to toss in my bag on the go. Plus, they're vegan, gluten-free, and HSA, FSA eligible for reimbursement. Save up to 52% off with promo code podcast at gruns.co. That's code podcast at gruns.co.
How do you keep your family healthy this season when it feels like everyone around you is getting sick? I use Sambicol. It's drug-free and scientifically tested to help support your immunity. Sambicol has the power of black elderberry in every purple bottle. It comes in tablets, syrup, chewables, or my kid's favorite, the great-tasting gummies. So this cold and flu season, support your family's immunity with Sambicol Black Elderberry. It's the only one I trust for my family. And best of all, my kids love it too.
Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Our special for our listeners this week, go to BiteSquad.com or the Bite Squad app, enter WILD 2018. WILD 2018, all caps, WILD 2018. You'll get 10% off your Bite Squad order this weekend only, Friday through Sunday. We're really targeting the Wilds games this weekend and the Vikings at Bears game. So order a lot of food, you get 10% off. The more you order, the more you get off. Thanks to BiteSquad.com, and thanks to our listeners for helping us out with this one. What an interesting crowd we have here tonight at Delano's Pizza. We have Russo's mom's friends, who I'm sure have their own avatars and Twitter handles, just like Russo's mom. We have a lot of regulars, Bert, Vicky, Clyde. Joe Christensen, the great Star Tribune writer, is here. Mother of Cheese is here. And
how come Joe doesn't have a podcast on your network? Not to make this uncomfortable right off the bat, but
well, if you really want to make things uncomfortable, part of my deal with me doing my own podcast network is I'm not supposed to use Star Tribune personalities on my network.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
At least that's what I say while Joe's here, so I don't make him feel bad for not putting him on the podcast network.
That is unfortunate. There are some characters at
There's some good people on the Strip, but you know they do their own thing. They have their own podcast. So that's the funny thing is I'm kind of, in a weird way, competing with my own coworkers at the Star Tribune.
Have you ever thought of having a podcast with Sid?
Actually, if I didn't have to spend time with Sid, that might be a great thing. I mean,
you could do it like on an 8-track.
I could do it on a gramophone.
Yeah.
It's the first podcast on a gramophone.
Yeah.
I actually think. I don't think Sid should be on the air anymore. Have you heard him on WCCO?
No.
He should not be on the air anymore.
That's mean.
It's true, though. I mean, at the Star Tribune, he can go do his interviews and carry his tape recorder around and bring his tape recorder back to the Star Tribune, and our people can turn that into a column. Have you heard him on the radio?
No, I haven't. I only listen to The Fan.
What's that? I'm not familiar with that.
And Talk North.
Okay, now I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was a mean way to start the show.
That was a really mean way to start the show. You asked the questions.
I was saying something nice about Joe, and then all of a sudden we went down the wrong path.
Well, but, it's okay we can say nice things about Joe, but we know Sid. We can't say nice things about Sid.
Yeah. That's a good point.
This is the Russo-Souhan Show. This is part of the TalkNorth.com podcast network. Thanks to producer Brandon Morton. We are live at Delano's Pizza, 4th Street, downtown Minneapolis, right by Ramp C. 118 North 4th Street is the exact location. They do their own deliveries. They have a huge delivery area because they have the downtown Minneapolis store and the shop in Woodbury. Number for the Minneapolis store, 612-767-9494, 612-767-9494, or go to delanospizza.com. We've talked it up before. I love their pizza. They have a proprietary tomato sauce. They're open till about 3 a.m. every night, except Sundays when they're open till 2. So it's a great place. Pre-game, post-game, pre-concert, post-concert, lunch. come on down. I order the pizzas all the time. I recommend you do too. Let's get to a little bit of hockey here first. I'll thank our other sponsors very quickly. BiteSquad.com. We have a new deal for Bite Squad. This Friday through this Sunday, use the promo code WILD2018, WILD2018, to get 10% off your order. So especially if you're ordering a lot of food, remember that promo code. If you order Delano's, just go through Delano's, not Bite Squad, but any other place. Go to BiteSquad.com, use the promo code WILD2018. Thanks to Twill in the Edina Galleria, WizKids.tech, your local technology company. Fixology Repair. John Hedges is here, as he so often is. I'm going to tell you about some of the specials at his shop a little later. And Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent in Champlin. So we're both at the X last night, and as so often happens, they have a great road trip. They come back, have to play a tough team. They kind of lay an egg. Do you read anything into that?
No, but there are two things that if you're superstitious, and Clyde could attest to this, I think. If you're superstitious, I would always bet against the Wild when one of these two things happen, and definitely two of these two. One, you show up. And two, when I do the arena camp, I was honestly walking down from doing the NHL Network yesterday, and I was walking back, and I was circling back down to the tunnel, and I was thinking to myself, I don't know if I've ever done an arena camp where they've won that night. There have been so many times that I've been on the NHL Network before a game, and I have praised the Wild and gone on and on. Gradlin's playing great.
Oh, you're such a homer.
Their blue line's awesome. Blah blah blah. And then they go and lay an absolute egg, and it's with clockwork every time. So because also if you think about it, it's the NHL Network. The only time they usually have a beat writer on is when the team that they're talking about is playing well, because they essentially don't want you to trash the team. So just I bet if we go back into my 33 appearances, I only know that for a reason. My 33 appearances, I bet you I can go and look at each game and figure out that the Wild are like 3-30 in those instances.
You wouldn't know that figure because you're figuring out exactly how much money they owe you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So.
You're a little transparent, Michael.
Of course they pay me to do that, Vicky.
But why should he? Why should journalists do anything for free? That's my question.
I do plenty.
We all do a lot of radio hits and things for friends of ours in the business. We do a lot of stuff for free.
I think we should start this podcast over.
If it's a big for-profit, yeah, we will. Nobody will ever hear this except the poor people who are here at the arena. My experience covering the Wild is, as a columnist, I usually try to go there with some ideas, because I can't just cover the game. We have somebody already covering the game. I have to have an angle or an opinion or a perspective. So I guarantee if I go there thinking I'm going to write something nice about the Wild, they always play lousy.
Yeah.
But it also works the other way. When I go there thinking, okay, it's time to beat these guys up, then they always win. It happens every single time.
That happened a lot with you're going to write, either Strip the Sea or Fire Chuck Fletcher, and then they come and win.
And then they go win 8-1. So what do you write? I don't know. That's just the
It doesn't happen often that the Wild lose at home in regulation. It's happened 3 times since Christmas, and 2 times are against the Capitals. So.
Well, we're going to have Russo's mom up here in a little bit. We might have another special guest. We have a lot of.
I don't know if we should. She's drinking.
Let's have her drink a lot and then have her up.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to roll.
So
here.
She gets in the car today. I didn't even say hello to her. She looks at her phone. She goes, oh my God, Paul Martin retired. And I'm like, I know, I wrote it. And then even driving here 7 hours after it happened, she's like, Tanner Pearson was traded to Pittsburgh. I'm like, I know. How do you think I don't know that? Anyway.
Which, Barbara, we've had the debate on and off the air here. Which Seinfeld character is Michael most like? I think he's a combination of Kramer and Costanza. Who do you favor? Absolutely. Which one? Which one does he favor more? Elaine. It's going to be a long show for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give me, all right, one serious hockey show before the show devolves even more. Just what do you make of this team right now? Give me an assessment.
I think they're a hard-working team. I think last night was typical of any team coming back after a long road trip. I didn't feel good about the game all day long because of it. I mean, it seems like you can't combat that. I have my theories of why all professional sports teams come back from long road trips and lack the energy at home. I think one thing in hockey is that it's a totally different game on the road. You play almost an and you have no apologies for it. You almost play just kind of I don't want to say dumb it down style, but you don't try to put on a show. You simplify everything. You get pucks deep. You don't worry about entertainment. And you just go out and gut your way to a win. And then the other thing is, I mean, look, it's real. I mean, these guys come home from a long road trip. There's errands to do. You got to see the kids. You got to pay the bills. I mean, there's a gazillion things that you have to do when you're gone for a long time. And then all of a sudden you come back and you don't realize that also maybe your body's tired. And, that's a game yesterday that you just kind of wish the Wild, if you're a Wild fan, had another day to you get back Sunday night from a 7-game road trip, and you get one day, and they didn't practice yet on Monday, and then you got to play that night against the Stanley Cup champs that have been waiting for you. It's just, look, I know nobody likes excuses, but that's just what happens. These aren't robots, and so now if all of a sudden they look the same against Vancouver tomorrow night, and they're not the team to try to rectify their loss to open the 7-game trip in Vancouver where they were not very good, then, you start to get a little concerned here that they were starting to, read their own press clippings, so to speak. But I would not... and the other thing I'll say about that game, if you look at the scoring chances 5-on-5, the Wild weren't dominated the way that I think that a lot of us maybe either portrayed or thought. They just are... You make a mistake, they're going to pay you. If Joel Eriksson acts throwing pucks away the way that he was last night, it's going to come back and haunt you. If Ryan Suter's flat-footed against a faster player, it's going to come back and haunt you. And they didn't take care of the puck last night. They were very sloppy. And I've got to think they'll be much better tomorrow night against the Canucks.
I think it's time to have Barbara come up. I've been waiting for this for so long.
I don't think so.
Barbara, you ready? Are you ready to come up? He's looking at Brandon like he's looking for permission.
Yeah.
While Barbara's walking up here, I do want to thank Twill and the Edina Galleria. I was out there. We did the Viking Update show there this week at Scott Dayton's shop and had a blast. Tim bought his first stuff from Twill. I went out and my wife spent a lot of money there last week. And my newest addition is this Stormwatch cap. It's like an insulated cap. It's nice. It looks like it's plain, but it actually even has the ear flaps. So when I walk my dog, I fly it down. It's actually very comfortable. Check out Twill in the Edina Galleria, twillmn.com, Twill on Instagram.
Jim usually doesn't like to shop for clothes. I don't like it when he shops for clothes either, because he used to buy stuff I'd want to throw out. That's why I'm so glad he's found Twill in the Edina Galleria. He likes shopping there because of the comfortable environment and the friendly staff. He finds clothes that actually fit him properly and are high-quality brands that will look great for years, whether he's golfing or working. Our favorites so far are Peter Millar, Johnny O, and Barber. We spend our money at Twill because we love the clothes and we love the no-pressure shopping. Drop by Twill in the Edina Galleria for the best shopping experience and best clothes you'll find in the Twin Cities.
So, Barbara, welcome. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
You didn't bring Oliver.
I didn't bring Oliver.
Now, one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on the air is the fact that, there are people at this table who care about your dog. And we know that there are also some people at this table who really don't seem to care as much about your dog as they should. And I got you, Stacy and I, and our dog Boyd, we got you a get well card for Oliver. And I knew that
I hope there's cash in there.
I knew one of us would do it, and I knew one of us wouldn't. So I wanted to be the favorite son here. I forgot to bring it, but I also have a little can of doggy mace for Oliver. So just so you know, no ferocious Yorkie can ever attack him again.
Okay. Thank you very much. He's doing very well.
Good.
And we even received a picture from Atlanta.
Oh, good.
Yes. He was on his throne at the in-laws.
So how can we embarrass Michael today? What stories do you have?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
She's been instructed.
I saw his new house.
Yes.
And
the first thing she said to me, she goes, "I think you're going to regret this." And I'm not kidding. And I'm like, I'm not having a heart attack already for this. She immediately met with the so it's a new build, and she met with one of the people there that were the two guys that essentially were working with me for months on this were not there today, and some new kid was there, and she's like, I want to change this and this and this and the kid was freaking out. When I say kid, he was probably 30 something, but he was honestly like, and I'm like, you cannot change things at this point.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
I've built many houses.
All right,
and
you can't.
I can upgrade certain things.
Okay.
Yes,
So
you can.
I'll
pay it up front.
Yeah.
Barbara, what do you think of his impersonation of you? Does he get it? Does he get the essential Barbara?
Is he the what?
What do you think of his impersonation of you?
He imitates my New York accent.
I hadn't noticed. But
Yes.
now that you bring
I
it up.
hate it.
We actually have a question for you
Yes.
from Russo's Filter. He asked, for Barbara, when was Michael the most in trouble with you, and what did he do to deserve it?
He cursed me out when he was a teenager, and I attacked him.
When was that?
When you were about 16 years old, you said, F you to me,
Hey, look at that.
and I jumped you.
I don't remember that.
I know who I believe in this conversation. Don Mitchell's here,
Yeah, is that,
bringing a hockey stick.
This is called David. It's signed by David Backus.
oh, nice.
Oh, wow. How about that?
So he's been in my custody for a little bit. I won him in the silent auction for Jack Jablonski's.
Oh, cool.
So my friend Chris is here from Chicago.
Hi, Chris.
His wife said he could not have any more hockey sticks, so he was forbidden to bid on it. So I bid on it and gave it to him. So
Oh, nice.
this is the custody swap off tonight.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I'd rather
Nice.
have David Backus. Who
Not
needs
this
the
season.
stick? What?
Not this season.
Not this season.
Yeah. Yeah, not this season.
saw
And I love
him-
Backus, but
I
he's,
saw him at, what was it, Beauty? What is it
yeah,
called?
the Beauty League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You thought she was talking about the season he's
Yeah,
having. It has nothing to do with how he's performing on the
Yeah,
ice,
that's
Michael.
funny. Yeah.
Are you going to have to be? You have to be careful with her. You have
Yeah,
to chaperone her.
definitely. Yeah,
when
yeah,
she's in
no
town?
doubt, no doubt.
What?
Why don't you hand the mic to the professional over there?
Oh, I'm not the professional?
No, Don.
I went to Emerson.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, here we go. We have Dawn and Barbara on the same time.
Stand by.
You know what? While we're getting set up here, I'll thank another one of our sponsors here, WizKids.tech. It's a tech firm in downtown Minneapolis. It's a startup that has done very well. Now they have a cool billboard not far from here on Washington Avenue. If you have a business,
I passed that
and
billboard today.
Yep, and
I
you
was
need
proud.
if you need a chief technology ally, let WizKids.tech be your chief technology ally.
Hello, Minnesota sports fans. This is Michael Thanner, founder and CEO of WizKids. WizKids is a Minneapolis-based managed IT, hosted VoIP, and cloud services provider. Businesses today require fast response times, skilled support staff, clear communication, and technology recommendations that align with their business goals. At WizKids, we do this each and every day with our clients. When you call into our help desk for support or work with one of our higher-level engineers on a complex issue, you'll find our staff personable and ready to roll up their sleeves to help you solve your technology problems. Reach out to WizKids today to find out how we can help your business meet your technology goals. Visit us online at wizkids.tech. That's wizkids.tech. WizKids, make it happen.
So this is a star-studded cast here. We have Don Mitchell from Fox 9. We have Barbara. We have Russo himself. Barbara didn't do a very good job of embarrassing him. She only embarrassed him like once in 5 minutes. Don, can you do it? Can you do better?
Embarrassment. Oh, I can, but I'm not sharing.
There's a recent thing. Yeah.
There's a reason. Let's just say it involved makeup.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, he was walking around in the bowels of XL Energy Center last night.
I know.
He was walking around with this little makeup kit, and he was saying, Dawn made me buy this, and then I put it on wrong. She told me I looked like, I don't know, a vampire or something. Like, he was walking around complaining about his makeup.
I said to Dawn, so she helped me buy this makeup for TV, and then I sent her.
didn't make you
you're
buy
right.
it.
And then I sent her a text, and I said, hey, I think I forgot how to do this. And then you told me how to do it in a text, like little dots, and I
I said you have to put on little dots and
Yeah.
blend it. And he said, yeah, no, I didn't do
I
that.
painted a picture.
So
I was like, and then it was a little. It was a bit of a disastrous situation.
I do have to share this,
Vancouver.
though. To the place
man.
where we went to go get the makeup, I might have gotten there a little bit after he did.
Yeah.
And it was really my joy to see Mike sitting in a chair with a woman at the makeup counter,
Yeah, I was.
putting a blush
Did you
on
notice
him.
I was wearing a ball cap that day? And,
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Not
it
that
was
there's
just
anything wrong with that.
yeah.
it was just hilarious for me
Yeah.
to walk in on.
Yeah.
So
I feel slighted right now because Michael has never once put makeup on for this show.
Yeah, I know.
Here you are. All these people here to see your lovely face. You never put it on for them.
Yeah. Man, this is just an awesome podcast.
You know what, Mike, though, you're not alone. I have a lot of guy friends that are on TV that they have to go through the embarrassment of putting their clothes in the dry cleaner with makeup on them and admit that they're theirs.
Yeah.
I have to admit,
it's their makeup and their shirt.
I used to do more TV than I do now, and I used to do Rosen Sports Sunday a lot. And I'd go in there, and they would just cake that stuff on me. And here's the thing: they would cake it on my face, they'd cake it on my neck. So like collar would have makeup all on the inside lining.
Yeah.
And then, of course, just to humiliate me, they'd start smacking the big powder thing on my forehead, like, we can't have the lights shiny. We're going to blind Rosen if we don't do that. So I always had about a pound of powder on my head.
Yeah, it's not with the HD cameras now. And my red cheeks.
No, you actually wear less makeup with HD.
Really? Well, not me.
It has been a blessing for. When it was, I don't know if you remember Marnie Hughes. She used to be a news anchor at Fox 9. So Marnie and I are the palest people ever. We're like Q-tips in the winter. So we would have to put on tons of makeup, maybe 3 shades darker than our normal skin when we had the older cameras. You'd go out for your lunch break or something. People look at you like, what is that? But now, the HD, we could actually the paler people can wear a lot less.
I just thought of a great story. And this is another just horribly embarrassing story.
Oh, good.
So the other day in St. Louis, I was using a Q-tip. And I'm just like, on my phone. And next thing I pull the Q-tip out, cotton swab gone. So I'm like, I put my hand in my ear. It's gone. Gone. And now I'm like, and I'm getting ready for the game. It's honestly, I'm like, what do I do here? Like, I got Dane from the Pioneer Press meeting me in the lobby because I rented the car for the trip and I got a ride.
Tweezers.
So, I couldn't find any of that. And I didn't have tweezers, by the way. But that's a good idea.
Don't do it again. You're not supposed to put it in your ear.
So, actually, I should get the text here. So I text my doctor. This is just awesome.
How many times a day do you text your doctor?
This is I go, Dr. X, I won't say who it is. Any chance you can get me with an ear doctor tomorrow mid to late afternoon? Oh, man.
Hypochondriac right here.
Oh, man.
Let me read it.
It's embarrassing.
Let me say.
Swab.
What did you say?
I got the swab jammed in my ear canal.
Of a Q-tip.
It's out.
Yeah.
And then triumphant tweet, the text, the last line, it's out!
Man.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, I basically told him it was a bloodbath. So here's the best part of the story.
Don't puncture your ear.
Here's the best part of the story. So I'm driving down there, and Dane is like, I'd be in the emergency room right now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm having trouble hearing right now. And so all of a sudden, we're pulling into the parking lot, it's a 2 p.m. game, and we're kind of in traffic pulling in, and I start like playing with my ear, and I kind of feel it, and I pull the thing out, and I'm all excited. Okay, I pull this, a gigantic Q-tip ball, and I showed Dan, and he screams, "Oh my God!" It was unbelievable. So.
And by the way, for those who haven't listened to every single one of the Russo-Souhan shows, this is the man who earlier this season told us that he hurt his finger pulling up his sock.
Yeah, that's true too.
So he's just like a hockey player. He plays through pain.
Should we maybe talk about the Wild?
Don, do you have any wild questions for Michael?
A wild question for Michael.
Well, while you think about it, I do want to remind people again, we are live at Delano's Pizza, delanospizza.com. Great delivery, great lunch, dinner, pizza, late night. They're open till 3 a.m. And also, if you're ordering someplace other than Delano's Pizza this weekend, Friday through Sunday, BiteSquad.com, the Bite Squad app. Use the promo code WILD2018 to get 10% off your entire order, and you'll be helping out the podcast network if you do so.
I actually have 2 questions for you, Michael, when it comes to the Wild. Number one is more of a philosophical question. So Zach Parise now is the preeminent Minnesota-born goal scorer in the history of the NHL. Why is it, do you feel, that Minnesotans don't really glorify their athletes as well as they should, a la Joe Mauer, when it's actually legit?
Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like Minnesotans get bored with their own. It's like they're all excited at the beginning, And then it's just like, I don't know. It is bizarre. Like it happened last year with Cullen. It's happened even with Zach throughout his time here. I don't know if it's just, or maybe it's just the longevity of Zach's contract and Joe's contract. I mean, if you think about both of them, they're two of one of us, and they both sign these super long contracts, so you get to really nitpick on them instead of maybe appreciating them for what they are. And then the other thing with Zach is, he's dealt with a lot of injuries here, but this year I think that a lot of Wild fans are really admiring that he's gotten back to looking the way that we've grown accustomed to seeing Zach.
I also think this is a passive-aggressive marketplace. Mm-hmm. And people were really, it's like Mauer was hyped, and then he was great, and then as soon as things started going wrong with him, the fan base very quickly became disappointed. Or it's like half the fan base, I think, is just really loyal. The other half really nitpicks. And, of course, as journalists, we sometimes nitpick, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote a million nice things about Joe Mauer and a million not-so-nice things about Joe Mauer. But Zach's a really fascinating case because, I mean, I admit that him setting that milestone really didn't register with me the way it probably would.
Although, remember, they did take the goal away, so he's technically still tied.
Okay, yeah.
But
still, it feels. I agree with John. It does feel like it does feel like it should be a bigger deal than we're making it out to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. It's almost amazing that there's not somebody with more goals. I mean, I wrote this Paul Martin piece today, and he's got 320 or 340 points, and that's seventh most amongst Minnesota-born hockey players. And you'd think that, for as long as Minnesotans have been playing in the NHL, that that wouldn't be where it is, especially when you look at the guys like Housley's number and things like that. But I don't know. I just think that it is something just to do with the fan base, no matter what it is. I mean, we see it, when I read the Athletic comments on my stories, it's the same people on losses and it's the same people on wins, and they don't like each other. They just go after each other. When they were hot, it's like, where's all the haters? Now they lost last night and they're back, and it's like sometimes you wonder, I've said this before, it's like, to me, look, I mean, thank God for the fans. None of us would have jobs, the three of us here. But I've said it before. Sometimes it's like fans don't want to enjoy what they're getting. It's like if you're the type of fan that just looks at the Wild's hot streak as they've won a 10 of 12, but who gives a crap because let's see what they could do in the playoffs. Well, then you know what? Don't read or talk or watch until April. But live in the moment. Enjoy the entertainment right now. The team's playing great. Enjoy it. Right now they have. The whole point of a regular season is to prep for the playoffs. They got 4 or 5 months until that. So let's just enjoy what we're watching now, and then plenty of time to critique if it ends the same way this year.
We do the Cheryl Reeve show on this network, and that sometimes it's about the Lynx, sometimes it's about women in sports or women in society. It's a great show. Last night, Sarah McClellan hit the 1-year mark of covering the Wild for the Star Tribune. I want to congratulate her. Also, Isabel, and I'm bad on pronunciations of last names, as you all know. Curtis Stan, I think, is her last name. She covers the Caps for the Washington Post. She's an outstanding reporter, outstanding writer. She's covering the game. I always read her, but I really had my first conversation with her last night. We're covering the game, and Michael comes down to talk to us and says, Isabel is like feeling ill. She ends up going down. Paramedics or whatever, EMT people, take her down into the medical room at the XL Energy Center. She ends up at Regents Hospital. And then today's Washington Post, 2 stories by Isabel on the cover of the sports section. She's a hell of a reporter, and she's
the best. And she came and got me during the game and was really in a little dire straits and really nervous. And I think that probably led to the situation. She just, panicked for what she was going through. And so I immediately got Sicky, who's the Wild PR guy. And then she went to the bathroom. So that's when I came to go get Sarah because I needed somebody to go into the women's room. But she's and just to reiterate what you just said about Isabel. So I texted her. We chatted after the game last night at Regions. Sarah and Chris Hine went and visited her. And then I texted her this morning, and I was so excited at 8 a.m. when the text delivered because that I thought meant that she wasn't flying to Winnipeg and she was just going to stay in the Twin Cities today and rest, and then maybe tomorrow fly to Denver because the Caps play tonight in Winnipeg. And so I thought her flight was at 8, so it delivered. So I'm like, well, I'd sent it at 8:20, and I'm like, oh, she must not be in the plane. Then I get a text back from her at 9. Yeah, just hopping on my plane to Winnipeg. I'm like, what are you doing leaving the country right now? But she, I think she's like a lot of us. She doesn't, not a lot of common sense. but she's doing much better, and they ruled out all the bad stuff. So,
and that's the facetious way to put it. But let's be honest. We all
work.
We're journalists, and I know our profession's often under attack these days. Best people I know are journalists, and some of the hardest working people, the most honest people, and people like Isabel, Sarah, you, credit, and Joe. Credit to the profession, and
especially Joe.
Is
there a nicer human being than Joe?
Really isn't a nicer human being than Joe.
Yeah,
and Dawn Mitchell.
Yeah,
I was.
Dawn's very nice, but Joe's very, very nice.
Well, because I'm not from here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Minnesota nice.
But it is funny how all
that's
of us...
That's a shirt. We got to make that shirt.
I own it. I do own that shirt.
Yeah, it is funny though how all of us just if you're ill, you just cover the game type thing. I remember I had surgery 15 years ago. I was covering the draft in Carolina, and my stitches opened up, and it was like a bloodbath. But I made sure to write, and then I went to the hospital, and that legend never died at the Sun Sentinel.
Well, Russo had to carry my bags for the entire Vancouver Olympics. I hurt my back. I couldn't sit down for 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. You were in agony. So
this suddenly has turned into an old guy's radio show.
It really
my back.
It hasn't turned into an old guy's radio show. It's always been.
It's all about Q-tips.
It's always been an old guy's radio.
Yeah,
because I'm old. And Michael acts like he's old.
I am old. So, all right, let's do it. Twitter questions.
Well, actually, let's thank John Hedges at Fixology Repair, fixologyrepair.com. Third floor of the Mall of America by Nordstrom's, and also downtown Minneapolis in the Skyway, just south of the Wells Fargo Center. By the way, John's also partnered with Seiko. He's doubled his inventory of Seiko watches, full assortment of Pulsar watches, and he has his Kenneth Cole and his Guess watches are marked down for the holidays. Great place to get things fixed. Also a great place to pick up a gift for the holidays. I highly recommend stopping by. And both shops are great, but the one at the Mall of America is even bigger and has even more options for you.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at fixologymn on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
Did you ever bring your iPad to him?
No, but I'm planning on doing it this weekend.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever procrastinate at all.
There are going to be 6 different types of iPads that come out after you finally bring yours. Or you can't, sorry, I can't fix that glass anymore because it's they don't even make it.
From Mother of Cheese, who's here in the building, this isn't a question. She's saying you aren't allowed to go on NHL Network anymore.
Yeah,
and I'm not allowed at the games because we're bad luck. And we don't really have a rebuttal for that.
Yeah.
Jack Schmitz, how worried should we be about Suter's foot or ankle at the moment?
Jack Schmitz.
Yes.
Yeah, we know him well. He went to Europe with us last year. Jack, look, this is going to be an ongoing issue. Yesterday, I will say this, I didn't say it during the game, but in the morning skate, he was flying. It was unbelievable. The luck of this guy. He's doing these circles in the middle of the ice right in front of me doing the box in the box, and he's taking passes, and the person that passed him the puck, who will be renamed nameless, hits him square in the ankle.
Oh.
And he kind of limped off, and I don't know if that affected him last night, but you're just this poor guy. But look, this isn't just going away magically. He's been dealing with this all year. But he's been playing great when he's been doing this all year. So I think last year is just a tough game. I think he'll recover. I will say that I do think that if opposing teams are watching the Wild, one way to beat them is to try to get their stars out against that pair. Because right now, Brodin and Spurgeon are playing great, and I think Suter has shown with the McDavid play with Orlov that fast guys can fly by him, and so if you can get a mismatch there, and it's hard to say that putting out a guy against Ryan Suter is a mismatch, but he's got a bad wheel. So.
And by the way, we do have mics open if anybody wants to come down and ask a question. We usually have a lot of very good live questions. I'll ask Twitter questions, but we really do favor people who are here and want to walk up to the mic, so feel free to do so at any time. And Dawn, feel free to just chime in anytime you want. We'd actually appreciate if you just take over the show at this point.
I wanted to ask Mike, I know at the beginning of the season, I won't say the two words that used to define the Wild to me, because it was kind of off the record. Has that opinion, which was not a high one, changed?
I don't remember what the two words were, but I can imagine. My guess is it had to do with age and slow.
Exactly,
yeah,
the two words. Old and slow.
Yeah. But I will say, I absolutely would say that my tune has changed. I mean, they're still old. But the one thing is that I think that we all kind of forget. First of all, it is amazing how we overreact just a couple games to start. I remember my first game story of the year is in Colorado was, here's the concern. And you're like, they played one game, man. And, again, in Colorado, but hey, like as I said with the fans, I mean, our job is to report what we see. Is that Chris Hine that I see a reflection of in the window? Joe, on ESPN right now? Yeah. I'm like looking and all of a sudden I'm like spooked. There's Chris Hine. Chris Hine, Star Tribune basketball writer, right?
Well, the funny thing is, Michael points, is that Chris Hine? And I see South Park on the TV, and I'm looking into it. I'm like, you got to be nicer to Chris than that.
I definitely am going to take a picture when they show him again. But I do think that what my point was of that is that we kind of forget this happens to them every year, and that it does take older, heavier teams, bigger teams, a little longer to get going. And the other thing is that, we also forget that in hockey, you're like Eriksson Ek says it great. You got to just be as fast as the puck. And what he means by that, translating his English-Swedish, I'm thinking what he means by that is that if you could pass the puck well and skate with the puck, you're going to look much bigger, much faster because you're executing. And the Wild were not doing that at the beginning of the year. Last night, they weren't doing it well. And what did they look like? They looked slower than the Caps. But if they, but I watched them on that road trip, and they looked by far the best team. Even the San Jose game, they should have won. Vancouver, even though they didn't play well, I thought that was the worst game of the road trip. They absolutely could have won that game. They're just playing much better. But I would agree. The comment that I made to you, I've definitely changed in terms of my opinion. So,
Vicky.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for the shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
It's like we've gotten such cool stuff. Sometimes you bring us vegetables. We had a listener bring in like a stitch. Portrait of my French bulldog. We get
Really?
good swag here. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's hanging in our bedroom now. It's awesome.
Nice.
Well, I'm a
Bert
big
brings
fan of
us coffee.
Russo-Souhan. So,
Yeah,
yes.
and I tend to agree with you.
Yes.
Your sentiment.
As
in that.
well you should.
Yes.
I just wanted to make a comment, Mike, that it's really unusual to hear you talk nice about the team, and it's so nice.
Give me a week.
But it's weird. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Does it hurt, Michael?
I even think Granlund's a superstar now.
Wow, Mary
Oh,
O'Neill
my
will be so happy.
gosh.
Mary O'Neill will be so
Philip is
happy.
going to be so happy.
I'm just kidding.
He sends me tweets during the game, like, oh, I wonder what Michael thinks of that. So anyway, but before I ask Philip's question, which is why I'm here now, my new thing.
I love it.
Mark Parrish, tell me about his new role on the NHL Network.
It was on for those 2 games.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a permanent gig?
No. Every now and then he might go there, but that was just a two-game thing.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Because he looked great. I saw that.
He's really. I mean, I think he's going to be great at that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
maybe it was kind of a tryout to get him to be on there more.
He'd be really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Fox ought to hire him.
They have a lot of people though.
But to replace someone else who will remain nameless.
That's mean.
Vicky, go ahead. Tell us who.
Hey, this is like the mean show, so I just thought but I didn't
You came to the right
name it.
place.
You know who I'm talking about, but was it weird when
It's only got to be a couple people.
Well, hey.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I think you do. Was it weird not doing the chalk talk the other night?
Why?
When Sarah did it, you know. How
Oh, she's done that. She did that last year too.
Oh, did she? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, no. I actually wish the Athletic would do stuff like that. I think it'd be good for us, and I do miss that stuff. That stuff was fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the question, Philip.
Oh my God, that looks long.
Hey, listen, he even has a follow-up question in case you don't get the first one. I just love this guy. We all know that in order to win a cup, a team typically needs both a game-breaker superstar type as well as a bottom six depth of scoring. Most teams don't have or can't get both. If you could get only one or the other, what would you get?
Does Philip get paid by the word?
He's very eloquent. He's very eloquent.
I would go game breaker. We've seen the Wild have depth scoring. Wild were the second best team in the league 2 years ago.
Yes.
They had the most balanced. They had the most double-digit goal scorers in the NHL, the most 40-point scorers in the NHL. And what did they do? They won one playoff game against St. Louis. They need game breakers.
Well, his summary question was, would you rather have the McKinnon line or a team with balanced scoring?
Well, now that's a different story.
Yes.
In the playoffs, I mean, you might want the McKinnon line, but I think we're seeing right now that there is a vastly big difference between Colorado and Minnesota, and that is a true one-line team. The one guy I've been disappointed with this year there is Kerfoot. I thought that he was going to add something big to the second line. But the other thing with Colorado is that their blue line's not nearly as good as the Wild's. Like the Wild's top six are as good as anybody in the league. Where, I like Zadorov, but he's not a complete product yet. And Eric Johnson is what he is. And I love Tyson Barrie, but he's a minus machine. So their blue line is one reason why they're probably their second, third, and fourth lines aren't nearly as good as other teams. There's so much skill in the first line that they could do it by themselves. Where the Wild are so good, defensively they're as good as it gets. Those 6D right now.
I was very proud of Marcus with Tom Wilson last night.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Yeah, somebody asked me on Twitter, like, what's the point? And I didn't even have the heart to, explain it to him. What's the point? The point is they just cut it to 2. They finally got the fans going, and now you just go after their toughest hombre who, in the eyes of the Wild, ran their goalie. That's the time that you do fight. And that's the time, that's the time when you try to motivate your team. And you know what? It almost worked. If Dumba or Zucker scores that breakaway or scores that awesome shot that he had cut into the net and just even cut it to 3-2, I have a lot better faith. I bet you the Wild win that game in the third period.
Well, I agree with you. I think
when they went into the third down 2, I didn't think they'd do it because you could just see their energy still lacked it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the game was better than it looked like last night, I thought.
I was going to say, it could have been a whole different game if those two that clanged off the post were
in, no doubt.
So.
That was when I was, I missed almost the entire first period. So I'd heard the roar of the crowd, but that was when I was with Isabel. If you look at my timeline, I just disappeared. And I didn't have my phone on me, too, so it was like I couldn't even, Zucker post.
Oh, yeah, you tweeted that you were gone for a little bit. I knew it had to be something big.
Yeah,
but.
We rely on you being there.
I know. I trust me, but I was really worried, especially, and I kind of felt guilty because I spent the entire day with her walking around St. Paul, caffeinating her, which probably didn't help.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure that did not help.
Yeah, the truth comes out.
Yeah.
She got Russo-itis?
Yeah.
Is that what she got?
Yeah. But she was completely healthy all day. We had dinner with her.
We had dinner with her. She seemed fine.
Yeah.
She was completely healthy until she hung out with him.
Until she hung out with herself.
He's digging a hole.
That's why I don't spend a lot of time with Michael. We kind of get out after the show fast.
Yeah, try traveling with him sometime.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Vicki. Appreciate it. Thank you, Philip, for sending your questions. Let's thank Tony Hoagland, Hoaglund, your State Farm agent, Champlin. He handles my insurance, he handles Michael's insurance.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoagland. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been #1 in car insurance since World War II and #1 in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
How awesome is that Wells Fargo building right now through the windows?
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is a great downtown. Yeah. I hope people appreciate it.
It's a great skyline.
It's a great
especially
skyline.
When, the sun's going down. Yeah, I'm really excited about moving 30 miles out.
Well, by the time you get out there, Barbara's going to make sure you have a moat and an entertainment room.
Yeah,
You're going to have so many extras built in. You're not going to be able to afford to live there.
Yeah.
From Matt Neppel, did Michael buy his mom some Caldi's coffee?
Caldi's.
That's what it says.
Oh, in St. Louis. No, I didn't. My mother in her apartment building in Atlanta has a Starbucks coffee machine, which I'm envious about. I wish I had one of those. So she doesn't eat Caldi's. Yeah.
From Erica, any further info on Fenton meeting and watching Kaprizov?
No, I mean, just I ran into him. He was almost shocked that I wasn't like peppering him. He like runs in for the first time since like November. I didn't see him in like 2 weeks. He like sprints in with his luggage, and he almost was shocked that I didn't stop him. And then finally he like came out, and he's kind of like, he kind of was like, why aren't you talking to me? And I'm like, a little medical emergency. But I mean, all I could tell you is what Craig Leopold tells me, and from Dan Milstein, which I've written. I mean, we had on the Athletic the actual Russian letter that Craig Leopold sent to the kid, which is just hilarious that he even thought of something like that. Everybody says that it's positive, but look, there's no further anything that can happen. I mean, it's all. Hearsay, essentially, until we see this guy sign on the dotted line in 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Chris?
Michael, I was going to ask you on your features, do you have a plan? Is it a long-term plan? Is it just is it organic? How do you...
Everyone's different. I was talking to Isabel about this yesterday. We have very similar... she's a much better writer than me, but we have very similar habits. The last 2 days, I woke up at 4 a.m. I still am in that newspaper Anita deadline mode. This Matt Hendricks story I've been working on for a month. It was going to run, then he got hurt. And if you haven't read this story, please do. It is gripping, especially the middle part where I talked to this woman named Siobhan Anderson here, who, because of the United Heroes League, this is an incredible story. So I'll instead of burying the lead, I'll just tell you what happened is that Siobhan Anderson's husband committed suicide because of PTSD that was undiagnosed. And this happened 5 years ago. 4 years ago, she moved to Farmington. Her kids got into hockey. She's got 4 children. One she was pregnant with at the time. 2 that are 10 and 11 got into hockey in the Farmington area. But she's worried about her kids, obviously. And so she started getting involved with all sorts of organizations that help the military, especially kids. And United Heroes League is this amazing thing that was started by Shane Hudella, that his job is he has made it his life's work to raise money to basically make sure that these kids that love hockey, whose parents are in the military or were in the military, can afford the high cost of hockey, because these kids don't sign on the dotted line. So she gets into her kids in the United Heroes League, and they've gone to all these different incredible activities. They've met guys like Charlie Coyle and Devin Dubnyk and Zach Parisi. And Shane Hudella is really obviously touched by her story, so he invites her, to his golf outing at the end of June in Prior Lake to give a speech. Tim Paling is listening to this. Tim Paling is the dad of Jack, Ryan, and Nick Paling of St. Cloud State. He hears this, is so touched, bids on this fishing trip that Matt Hendricks and Zach Bogosian have donated to take a family out fishing. And he secretly bids on it, wins it, and then after the event was over, goes over to the family and donates the trip. And it's just a really cool story. Thanks for reading, Vicky. So you better still read it. I will. Yeah. I had to get some comedy in there. But
that's on StarTribune.com, right?
So this is a story that I've been working on. Yeah. So you won't find it there. So anyway, this is a story I've been writing on for a while, and because of this story, like a lot of times stories just flow out of your fingertips. Joe's an incredible writer, Jim's an incredible writer, and so they could attest this. Sometimes you really have to build a template, and I will say with that one, I've written a lot of stories lately that I've reworked. That one was tough because I didn't know how high to make it. and I probably should have made it the lead of the story, but I also wanted it to correlate with Military Appreciation Night, which was going on yesterday at the arena, and explain why, which his dad is the reason why he is so into helping the military. So that one's different. The Paul Martin story today, usually in my head, I could time out exactly what time to wake up and write a story and be done with it at the exact moment that, say, I have to leave for the arena. The Paul Martin story today, for some bizarre reason, just flowed out of my fingertips in an hour and a half, and that's a long story. So that one, just sometimes they're easy, sometimes you aggravate. The Brady Boudreaux story took me so long to write. The Ryan Carter story took me an hour to write. Some stories and that one, and all of them are the same length essentially. I write too long, but so everything's different. But I do sometimes I'm not kidding you. A lot of times also, it's crazy, but I'll wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. to write these stories because I essentially write the story in my sleep. I'm not kidding you. I'll wake up and I will go to my laptop and the lead will just pop right out because I've thought about it going to sleep. I honestly dream about the story, and then I wake up and I'm sometimes able to write actual passages that came out. Some people like Dane Mizutani, I notice he's the Pioneer Press writer. He'll actually be in the locker room and he'll be on his notes part of his iPhone, and I can tell that he's writing down lines that he wants to say in his story. I do it more in my head. So everybody's different.
I do both.
Yeah.
I'll write things down.
Him on deadline is just something to see. Like he'll write these stories on the same deadline that we're on, and he has one-liners that I'm just like, I don't even know how you come up with it. It's crazy. So.
But I have the same experience. If I'm struggling with a story, I'll go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then your brain organizes itself while you're asleep. You wake up and it becomes very easy, or at least easier to write.
No, and I will say I cannot write tired. If I'm exhausted, I just and the job I have now, Chris, is a lot harder. I was talking to Isabel about this yesterday. It's a lot harder than the Strib, from the standpoint that you have to be so self-disciplined. It is so easy when you essentially have total autonomy and no boss and the Star Tribune's waiting for the article. They've planned for it all week. We have a budget that we plan stuff on. A budget meaning in newspaper terms, that's where you take your allotted space and you actually budget out where a story is going to go and put it down. And so if I'm writing Matt Hendricks and I say it's coming in this day, they expect it. Where at the Athletic, if I just don't feel like it, and I call Zach Pierce up, our editor, and say, "Hey, I'm going to run this on this day," he couldn't give a crap. It's just like, yeah, no problem. This Hendricks story was originally going to run on Veterans Day, but then after Joe Mauer retirement happened and Jimmy Butler trade, we just decided that eyeballs on a Sunday for Veterans Day, it just wasn't going to be enough. So we decided to run it on Military Appreciation Day. But and again, it's the same thing. Like Paul Martin's story today, I met with him on Monday and I just told him, like, hey, keep your mouth shut for 2 days. I was able to tell him this is when I'm running it. And then even today, when I wasn't positive the story was going to run, I'm just like, hey, just don't say anything yet. I had to tell the U because all this, I'd sort of been talking to him for a month and a half about hey, I want to write it. So let me, sort of, for lack of a better term, break it. But even the U, I called the U up they didn't know, and I called them to just get his final stats, and then same thing with the U. I kind of don't put out a press release until I tell you that I'm running it type thing. So sometimes you work on things differently.
Absolutely.
So,
Bert.
All right. So I just wanted to kind of piggyback off what other people were saying. Last night, it didn't seem like a 5-2 loss for the Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't look that bad. The Caps were a turnover machine.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a different, as Don was saying, it's a totally different game if those posts don't happen.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I don't know if you one of my first or only tweets of the first period was the stall line is causing turnovers every single shift at the defensive blue line, meaning the Caps blue line, and. You just if they could have just been a little, but there's a perfect example of where on the road trip they were so sharp, and that one they caused the turnover, and then what happened? Either Zucker, Staller, Granlund, there was no puck supporter. They just couldn't, they couldn't even get shots on goal, and that was the only thing that bothered me about last night is you're 30 minutes into a game with Phoenix freaking Copley in net, not Braden Holtby, Phoenix Copley, who's the most manic. He's a goalie that looks like he's being electrocuted in net. I mean, when he gets shots on him, pucks are just it's crazy. Him in net. Wild fans didn't get to witness that Phoenix Copley yesterday. I mean, he's like a freaking trampoline, and it's almost the most entertaining thing in the world to watch because he's actually quite effective. but he's in a lot of ways like a type of Dominic Hasek type of Anton Hudobin type of like just all over the map type thing. And the Wild have 6 shots against him through 30 minutes. Like, come on, let's recognize who you're playing here and start just shooting from everywhere. But they didn't do that.
He put a couple nice passes on their sticks too.
Right, and then exactly, and then to his credit, he made the big saves when he needed to. Because if he gives up 1 goal in that last 10 minutes after the Marcus Foligno fight. I think the Wild win that game, but being down by 2, I think, was yesterday too big of a hill to climb.
Secondly, did you see the Brad Meyer injury from the Capitals Blue
No,
Jackets
I didn't.
game?
No.
Where his knee got twisted, and then when he fell, he just did splits right on the ice.
Wow.
And the Caps trainer came off the ice like a shot, and they had to help him down the tunnel.
No, I did not see that. I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah.
And I don't wish that on anybody. I actually like Brad.
Yeah.
Even though he seems to have it for the Wild.
But even though it was the Caps and the Blue Jackets, he did call a 2-minute hooking penalty on Stahl from there.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. And the third thing is our special guest, Dawn. I wanted to say that I met her at the Minnesota United press conference at Target Field a few years ago, and she was very nice and gracious.
No, I know.
So,
she says I was wrong. She's as nice as Joe Christensen.
Than Joe.
Yeah,
Joe was really
nice.
mean to him that day.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well.
No,
I've seen Joe
just
be
teasing
mean.
Joe.
Could you imagine Joe being mean?
Never.
Though? Yeah, no.
Never. He's even laughing now when we're calling him mean. He's so nice.
I've seen him aggravated. We used to cover spring training games together. The leaf blowers would come out right when we were sitting there trying to, you're in a beautiful ballpark, it's quiet, and they'd have 85 leaf blowers turn on at the same time, and Joe wanted to go kill somebody. So he's got that Minnesota, he's got the dark side, it's kind of hidden.
We should rank niceness of Star Tribune sports writers.
There's Joe Christensen, and there's Joe Christensen.
Where would you, Royce, and Sid wind up on that list?
We're not on the list. Joe's like 1 through 10 on the list, and then there are a few other people, and then we're...
Joe, you'll love this story. I'm sure you're not an avid Russo-Souhan Show lissister, but a couple weeks ago I'm at Brasa, and the waiter comes up to me, and he goes, and I must have been wearing the Talk North hat. And he goes, "Oh, do you I can't remember what it was. Oh no, I was wearing my athletic hat." And he goes, "Oh, are you a fan of that site?" And I'm like, "No, I write for the site." So I assume that makes me his fan.
I'm a pretty big deal.
So then he starts telling me about how he's a huge Wolves fan, loves Krasinski, blah, blah, blah. And he listens to the Roy Smalley, but he's a huge Twins fan. And he listens to Roy Smalley Souhan Show, and he goes to me, "Do you know Souhan?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do a podcast with Souhan as well." And he goes, "Yes." He goes, "Doesn't it seem to you like Souhan's just becoming more optimistic lately?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it really does." And I think it's because of the podcast, because he has to seem likable.
I have to try. I have to pretend to be likable at least a couple hours a week, which is it's a stretch for me.
Yeah. I love how your car there has the Talk North stuff on there. Like
advertising.
It says Jim Souhan on his car, which if I were you, I'd be scared.
You know what? Nothing's happened yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Like, you're not the most beloved character in the Twin Cities. Like, if there's a good chance that one day somebody's going to drive by and see, holy crap, that's Jim Souhan, and do a 180 U-turn, and there's going to be a problem. There's a chance.
You have a lot of violent thoughts running through your mind.
I would not.
Has he always had these problems, Barbara?
Yeah.
Has he always had these problems? He's always had a tendency to worry about violence. Yes. That's the answer. Yes.
Yeah. What I would do is make Brandon have it on. Brandon can advertise the Talk North thing.
You just came up with a brilliant idea. That's your first good idea on this podcast.
Yeah. So.
We only have a couple minutes left on the podcast. We appreciate everybody who came out tonight. Thanks for coming out and supporting Delano's and the Podcast Network. Thanks to Dawn and Barbara. Thanks to our sponsors, Delano's Pizza, delanospizza.com. Bite Squad, remember, Friday through Sunday only. Friday through Sunday only. Wild 2018 gets you 10% off your entire order. Thanks to Twill and the Edina Galleria. WhizKids.tech, WHIZKIDS.tech. Fixologyrepair.com. Go check out John Seiko line and also his sale and Kenneth Cole and Guess watches. And Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent in Champlin. We can highly recommend Tony as an insurance agent. A couple more minutes left. Dawn, do you have any final thoughts for us?
Well, I'm going to do a shameless plug.
Yeah. Please do.
If you could tune into Fox 9 Sunday morning on a Vikings Game Day Live. I sat down today with Kirk Cousins as he starts the second half of the season and talking to him about how he is adjusting here and all of his, he's a tough nut to crack in terms of he's very
He's programmed.
He's very stay-at-home, very this and that. But, it did crack a couple smiles from him and get a few things out of him. So that'll be Sunday morning.
Awesome.
Pragmatic is what Barbara calls him.
Pragmatic. Very nice.
Pragmatic. But
Boy,
he's a good guy.
there's a writer in the family.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Brian, you have been very quiet today.
Anything you want to chip in, Brian?
Yeah, Brian's. So we were going to do this. It was my idea. So when I was out in the burbs today, I was going to stop off at Brian's house and have my mother go up to his front door, ring the bell with her suitcase, and say, "I'm here." But Brian wasn't home.
Dang it!
Here comes
Here
Brian.
comes Brian.
So if you remember, Brian is the one. Just so you know that in Italy, we had this big hilarious fight. The Karen was going to kill him, and then he actually almost fell off Cinque Terre's railing. So. Yeah.
We would have gladly welcomed your mother at our house.
There's still time. You have to drive back there.
I think it's just terrible, Michael, that you buy a big mansion in the eastern suburbs and you make it a one-bedroom so Mom can't visit.
Yeah, I know.
It's just not right.
She walks in today. She goes over to the extra bedroom and she goes, "This is my bedroom?" And I'm like, kind of.
Okay, just one thing when you're out there in the suburbs, those things in the sky are stars.
Yeah, I know. They're going to freak me out. There's no doubt. There's going to be a lot of things I will miss. Like just being able to walk outside and go like, I want to go get us a
Well,
coffee.
you always walk here to do the podcast.
Yeah, from the burbs?
No, I'm saying you always have walked here. Yes.
Yeah, but that's a short walk.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
I did get a
miss.
text. I did get a text from somebody that's got a question for you.
Oh yeah.
Peter from Austria. He would like to know where he can read your blog.
I will. Yeah. Could you imagine the other thing? I was like, can you imagine if you what are there 100 and what? 160 something. If you listen to all of them in a loop, the amount of times that I contradict myself on the air, think about all the times 150 shows ago that I was just ripping on Granlund saying they need to get rid of him and calling double. Oh, she's back. What?
I shouldn't say this.
Oh no! Maybe
here
you
we
definitely
go.
shouldn't say this.
Fire away,
no,
Barbara.
I mean, that's what you do.
Yes.
I do.
I really shouldn't say this, but.
Right.
Those are the
And
best
then
parts
you
of the
say
show.
it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff that I shouldn't say on here.
Yeah, you ever do live television?
No, I know.
No. You can't say, can you take that out?
Yeah.
Can you roll that back?
Well, you never really know what's going to work in the media world. And I remember we sat down to do one of our first podcasts, and we started talking, and I asked Michael a question. And during his answer, which took about 12 minutes, he changed his facial expression about 6 times, and he started an argument with himself. And I thought, this is going to work.
Yeah.
I can just ask Michael a question. I can leave the room, and he'll hold the entire conversation by himself.
Remember our early podcast when we go to that home in South Minneapolis, and it was
yes,
it was weird.
That was weird.
A home?
Yeah,
Just
it
a
was like
random
Well,
home?
I started doing podcasts for another company, and they had a little place for us to
Yeah.
go do them.
They essentially bought a house for the podcast.
They rented a house so they could have an office, basically. So we'd go do there, and I don't work for those people anymore. That's why I started my own deal.
Yeah. I remember we were walking down the block one day by the X, and you told me you were going to start this, and I was like, yeah, right. And now you've run 2,000 podcasts. It's crazy. Thank God for Brandon. Can you imagine if you had to do this?
No, I can't. We wouldn't do it. I mean, we would talk to each other, and it wouldn't be published. So it wouldn't work out very well.
I always say Brandon's got to be this guy has listened to every one of these podcasts. I mean, that is just torture.
Yeah, but we have a great psychiatric care package for our employees, so it works out fine.
You're adding short and long-term disability.
Before
Is that in your benefits?
when you talk about having maybe some psychiatric help, my friend Chris, who's going to be the soon proud owner of David the Stick, he needs our help because he's still very sad that Coach Q has been let go in Chicago.
I know.
So he would like a moment of silence.
Yeah, it's going to help somebody else.
It's not going to happen here
that.
in Minnesota, Chris. Sorry, but I do love Coach Q.
Yeah.
And I think it's been a long time since there's been a coach that's been fired that the resounding Words afterwards were like, "Oh my gosh, really?"
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, the old adage forever was, well, Scotty Bowman's been fired, so blah blah blah, and or Wayne Gretzky's been traded, and I'm not exactly sure actually if Scotty was, but regardless, it's like it's now Coach Q. This guy guy's won 3 cups since 2010, and that just shows you anybody can be fired. So.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. What? Nah, I don't think so. Yeah.
The question was whether Michael's going to St. Louis.
No, whether Mike Yo is.
I misheard.
See, there's a perfect contradiction. I think on the last podcast we talked about him maybe going to St. Louis. Yeah. So, great podcast.
It was disjointed and weird as usual, but that's kind of what we do.
It definitely started. The first half I felt started kind of weird.
Well, I think we were overwhelmed by the presence of your mother, presence of Don Mitchell, hockey stick. We just had a lot going on. Joe Christensen. We were just
Scott the pilot.
We're intimidated by our surroundings. We got over it.
It was good. It was a good show, I think. I think next one we're going to do November 30th. Is that what we're planning?
Next live show we're planning, we need to clear it with Delano's, but they've been really great to work with. I'm sure it won't be a problem. Tentatively, 6 p.m., November 30th, right here at this space. We appreciate everybody who shows up, everybody listens. Again, the listenership has gone through the roof across the network, and especially on this show. Thanks to everybody who's made that possible. Thanks to all of our sponsors, including Mr. Hedges, who's here tonight. Anybody have a final thought? Don, Michael, or should we just call it? I think we've done enough damage. Thanks again, and please give Michael a round of applause. And Don Mitchell, please give Don Mitchell a round of applause as well.
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. We went to the beach and it was covered in ice. And I used to call it home. So much coming out, there's nothing going in. I know that you feel like you're never gonna win. Oh, but the world won't forgive a winner.
The other day in St. Louis, I was using a Q-tip. And I'm just like, on my phone. And next thing I pull the Q-tip out, cotton swab gone.